But Kaelin was most shocked, not that he came back, but that he wasn't taken. He was still Zed.
Yeah, it didn't change him at all.
And he explains that, like, she was the light that dragged him back from the underworld. And he's like, oh, okay, cool.
Right.
So Chase and Kaelin are like, hey, dude, why were you, like, hanging out in the underworld? You were supposed to be checking on Richard, so what the fuck was that about, right? And he tries to give them some kind of BS excuse, like, the Nightstone always has a little bit of the underworld in it. And they're like, okay, but, like, he's in Dahara, so you should have been in Dahara. And he's like, well, the Nightstone isn't, though.
I was just somewhere else.
Yeah.
So if it was in Dahara, things probably would have gone as expected.
Yeah.
But the screaming and all that just happened, yeah, that's because it's in the underworld.
It's in the underworld. Sorry. And they're like, wait, what? And he's like, no, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Richard's probably fine. He thinks.
50-50 shot leaning towards not.
Yeah.
So it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Oops.
It'll be fine. Hold on, Nate. Nate, hold on. Oh, hold on. Fix it.
So at this point, they're figuring Richard's not in the underworld, even though the Nightstone's there.
Yeah.
He was taken because from their perspective, he went to the cave by himself.
Yeah.
And then disappeared.
And then they could sense him in Dahara, which
Right.
was different than Tamarang. So he obviously moved.
So they can sense him in Dahara. They know he's there. They decide that's got to be the plan then. We have to go to Dahara, namely to the People's Palace, because obviously the bad guy did something and got him. He's there.
There's a little bit of like, oh, maybe Darken Rahl doesn't have him, even though he's in the palace, and some like, oh, hem-hauling bullshit.
They play devil's advocate a lot.
Yeah.
They're not saying necessarily, oh, he is in Dahara for sure, but you can't rule it out. I wanted to point out something that you have in the notes here. Even Brophy is with them.
Even goddamn motherfucking Brophy. I'm so mad about Brophy. He should have been with Richard from the start.
Right. He could have been there when he was attacked by James the artist, and might have even been help when he was dealing with Denna. But no, he was with Kaelin and Zed, which I think is unbalanced. Now that you had pointed it out, I'm looking at it. Somebody should have gone with Richard. It only makes sense.
I do not remember Brophy's destiny, what ends up happening to him, but I feel like when he ends up dying, which I feel like he probably does, I'm going to be like, that's stupid. He should have been with Richard.
This could have all been avoided.
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't, but I'm calling it right now before I remember what happened.
Yeah, okay.
Rounding out the chapters, Zed's like, all right, you know what? Box is safe.
They don't have it.
And in 5 days, Darken's going to be dead. So no matter what, we're all good.
Darken doesn't have it. We're fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Everything's going to be fine.
Basically, Jade's catchphrase.
It'll be fine. Nate hates it, but yep.
You do say it a lot.
Has anything ever not been fine?
Yeah.
That's another podcast,
That's
babe.
another podcast for another time. But yeah, Zed decides at this point, things aren't great. Okay, we're missing people. We're missing things. But at the moment, we have an advantage over Darken Rahl. And that is, as long as things stay the way they are right now for the next 5 days, we're eventually going to turn up with the win.
And like Nate said while we were listening, they're doing like a live countdown as the chapters go. So we know we're 5 days out.
Yeah, all the characters keep mentioning the number of days until the first day of winter. Like, oh, only 6 days now. And then somebody else in passing in another chapter, it's only 4 days. That's on purpose. So the reader, who probably has lost track of time at this point, can keep track. Because Richard was gone for an indeterminate amount of time. It made it seem like forever. Terry's an awesome fucking writer. He gives you the information you need when you need it, and not a moment before. which is a concept that we've talked about in this book. And when Richard was with the Mord Sith, he didn't give any time constraint that day. This went on for some days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Weekly. But he didn't tell you how long he had been there until he was out and like back in the real world. Oh my gosh, it's been 3 weeks and all this other shit's been going on.
And I feel like 3 weeks doesn't sound like that long outside of it. But inside, I feel like 3 weeks is definitely long enough.
I mean, 3 week time span, most of us have been in lockdown for about 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's to say that's a time frame that everybody can kind of have in common now to understand the length of time. It's been a few weeks.
It lasts longer than you think. You lose track.
Yeah.
You know what? You lose track of time for damn sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I've seen online. Everybody's like, I don't even know what fucking day it is. It doesn't matter because all I'm going to do is get up and go to the living room.
Today was a Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
And it felt like a weekend day because everybody was home. We're all like hanging around the house, and it's just weird.
Yeah, you said a couple of times it felt like Saturday.
Yeah, it felt like Saturday. I don't know my days anymore.
Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us. This is one of those chapters that it's small, it's short. There's not a lot of details, but the details that they put in there are big, and I think it's setting up the story for the end of the book, which, to remind you guys, is only like 5 or 6 chapters away.
Yeah.
So we will have to do something for that, I'm assuming.
I think our giveaway is probably going to coincide with the end of this book.
Yes, ma'am. So this is what Jade and I would ask you to do. We want you to leave us a voicemail by calling 616-259-0025 and tell us what this book means to you. Jade and I both have stories all throughout this podcast so far about what these books have meant to us and how they affect our day-to-day life. And we're sure that all of you have stories much the same as we do, and we want to know what those are. So leave us a voicemail, say, hey, this is my entry for the Terry Goodkind Store giveaway, and then tell us how this book, or you know what, the whole series means to you, or how it has affected your life since you started reading, and you will be entered in the giveaway. I cannot wait to hear all your answers.
Yeah, be sure to let us know your name and if you're okay with us sharing it on air, because we really want to share everyone's story with everyone else.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, you can let us know by sending an email to podcastatt@gmail.com. Like I said just a moment ago, you can totally call us, text us, leave us a voicemail at 616-259-0025. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching All the Things or checking out our handle at podcastatt. And if you wanted to help this podcast grow, you can do that by going to patreon.com/podcastatt and making a pledge. Thank you guys once again, and we'll see you real soon.
Bye.